3, 2, 1, go! Welcome everybody to the unboxing and review of the highly anticipated brand new Honor Magic 2. Never heard of it? Think of this phone as the stepbrother of the Huawei P20 Pro, but with the power and technology from the Mate 20 Pro packed together to form this incredibly unique phone from Honor. Quite the combination right there, you would think. So let's get down to business. Trust me, you really want to stick around for this one, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, this particular Honor Magic 2 is the dual SIM Chinese unlocked variant with Google Play installed. So this will work here in the UK on our 4G networks. This version comes with 128 gigs of internal memory and a massive 8 gigs of RAM, as you can see at the bottom of the box. The colour of choice is gradient blue, and it's also available in two amazing other colours, which are gradient black and red. Right, nice and easy, let's get it out of the box, and ooh, here we go. Here it is, sitting firmly within its tray. Let's get it out and give you guys a quick sneak peek. Right, okay, my first impressions, in the hands it's actually noticeably nice and light and quite compact. And there we're getting a glimpse of how the fingerprint sensor works for the Honor Magic 2. Obviously more on that later. And there's the glass back shining through, so it looks stunning upon first glances. And you can see under the plastic, it's very reminiscent, like I said, of the P20 Pro with its vertical camera setup at the top left hand side of the phone. Right, I'll move the Honor Magic 2 aside for now, as we go through the main contents found inside the box. Right, get this tray out of the way and let's see what we get with the Honor Magic 2. Right, here's the main cartridge where we find our SIM ejector pin. Inside it is a case, but not the typical clear plastic TPU case I'm used to seeing with other Huawei or Honor smartphones. Nice, I'll check that out in just a second. Right, I've got some cool looking Honor cards provided here. I am Honor. A QR code there too. I'll give that a scan later on. I normally don't see these types of cards in Huawei or Honor boxes, so something new here. But it's in Chinese, which isn't going to be ideal for me. Still cool though. I'll leave that to a side. Moving on, here we've got the Huawei warranty information booklet and a Honor quick start guide as well. Put that to a side. So let's check out the new case provided. We have here a matte black case. The design is minimalistic and actually looks great. Not the best case in the world obviously, but it's free and saves you the hassle for looking for one when you get your phone. But more importantly, it's good to see the signature trademark of cases being provided by Huawei and Honor continuing here. Right, moving on, starting off here is the 2-pin Huawei Superfast charger. Now this is the same 40-watt Huawei supercharger which is shipped with the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. So there's a big bonus for you Honor users. Next we have here the USB Type-C charging cable in white with a lilac accent inside like my other Huawei cables. A nice touch. Now the claim which Huawei say with their superchargers is that you're able to get a staggering 0 to 70% charge time in 30 minutes. Now I'm definitely testing that feature out for you guys in an upcoming charging test video, so stay tuned. Now there is no headphone jack provided, which can put a lot of users off, including me, because I will not carry around a dongle like the one supplied in the box. Also, this is the first time I didn't receive any headphones in general in the box, which is a big surprise. So yes, no headphones, either that of USB Type-C or 3.5mm. And nothing else left inside the box. However, let's not get too discouraged. The Honor Magic 2 has a lot to offer. Huawei and Honor have an absolutely fantastic track record over the last couple of years, so I expect to see more of the same here. Now let's get this seal off. That will always be satisfying. And do you know what else is satisfying? Wonder Mobile. I just want to give a quick, huge shout out for them sending me out the stunning gradient blue Honor Magic 2. Now I see many people asking me in the comments where I get my phones from. Your answer, Wonder Mobile, my friends. All smartphones are brand new, unlocked, signed, sealed, and delivered to you before you know it. Wonder Mobile is rated excellent 5 stars from independent reviewer Trustpilot, so you don't need to take my word for it. Guys, if you're in the market for a brand new smartphone and you want a safe, secure and reliable experience, Wonder Mobile is my website of choice. Now, I'll be getting back to the Honor Magic 2, but I'll pin a link below so you guys can visit their website in your own time and check them out for yourselves. Thanks again Wonder Mobile, much appreciated. Back to business. I think we can all take a moment to admire the sheer good looks of the Honor Magic 2. The blue colour gradient used here is stunning on this glass back design. Honor Magic 2, welcome to the studio. Now it looks near enough identical to the Huawei P20 Pro from the back, and we all know just how good of a phone that was. Now let's see if the Honor Magic 2, its stepbrother, can live up to the same name. Well, I can confidently say based upon first impressions it's an extremely very well designed smartphone. You'll certainly be turning heads if you whip out a phone like this in public. The two-tone gradient is more balanced and refined here. We don't get a distinct colour change from the top to bottom like on the Twilight Mate 20 Pro for example. Here the Magic 2 starts off lighter blue at the top and transitions into an ink blot darker blue towards the bottom, and it simply looks amazing. Now, I'm going to start off with one of the many unique selling points of the Honor Magic 2, which is its look and design. But the number one single-handedly unique feature about this phone, which you guys need to see, is this. Now that is really cool. Now the slider is firstly mechanical, not electrical like on the Vivo Nex and Oppo Find X. Now I really like the Oppo Find X and what they accomplished, but here with the Honor Magic 2, it's just so nostalgic having a phone you can slide up and down yourself. It's an incredible throwback to a simpler times when phones didn't cost you an entire month's salary. More to the point, the slider is actually quite practical. Let me explain. First, the Honor Magic 2 is all screen, no notch. Let me repeat, no notch. No hole punch camera notch like we'll be seeing on the 2019 smartphones, like the new Honor View 20 and the Samsung Galaxy A8s for example. This is arguably an advanced screen implementation compared to the P20 Pro or Mate 20 Pro, as they both have the notch. Albeit you can hide them, but they're still there. Here, for the Magic 2, it's completely nothing but screen only, and I find that truly incredible. But here's where the magic is. The Honor Magic 2 is hiding 3 front-facing cameras and a speaker grill on the slider. Now there's only one main camera of the 3 that actually takes pictures, as the other 2 are essentially depth sensors. More on the cameras later. And what a display we have here. The Honor Magic 2 has a nearly 6.4 inch display with a screen to body ratio of around 84.8%. Now to me the bezels are barely noticeable, so the screen appears to have well over 90% coverage. It's arguably the best smartphone I've seen in terms of wanting an all display, zero obstruction screen. It clearly has the best implementation of the notch, which is no notch. The phone is actually very light despite having added weight due to the slider, and it fits perfectly in my hands. It's a bit more thicker obviously due to the slider, but that helps for grip. And phones with a larger display are my preferred option, as they provide a more immersive viewing experience for video content on YouTube for example. For my hands it's ergonomic in its design, and the device feels great to hold and feels just as good to hold like a Note 9 or a Mate 20 Pro for example. It's excellent. Honor have clearly worked their magic with this one. We do get Gorilla Glass on the front and back. At the bottom we have here the Honor branding on the left, which shines out nicely on the glass back finish. Right, as we come underneath, on the left is the main speaker grill. The other speaker is on the slider, which I'll come on to in a second. In the center is a USB Type-C charging port for Huawei's 40 watt supercharger. And on the right is the mic. On the left hand side is our SIM ejector tray and nothing else. At the top there is nothing towards the right, but in the center we have an IR blaster, and on the left is the secondary mic. There's your top firing speaker on the slider, which is hidden under the main earpiece. Very cool. However, the excitement is short-lived, as the main audio only fires from the bottom speaker, which is a real shame. Why have this top firing speaker if it's not being utilized for better stereo sound quality? Anyways, on the right hand side is our power button. There's no unique color or coarse-like texture used here to define the power button like we find on the flagships such as the Mate 20 Pro or Mate 20X, and just above that we have our volume buttons. There is also no dedicated GPU turbo button on this device like there is on the Honor Note 10 for example. The reason being here is that the Magic 2 has this feature built into its incredible architecture. So you can see that the glass back and the slider have curved edges. It looks absolutely fantastic in its concept, and from a design point of view, it gives the phone this futuristic razor sharp like design. And compare that to the main display itself, you'll see that the screen is actually flat. Now personally I prefer a flat display, as it allows for better viewing angles when watching video content. So you get the best of both, Mate 20 Pro like curved design at the back and flat panel on the front. Can't argue with that. And as you can see from this angle, it has accentuated rounded corners for its overall look, which again looks absolutely fantastic. Now it will be a bit of a fingerprint magnet, as it doesn't come with the same coating used on the Mate 20 Pro, which prevents that. Not a huge deal, slap on the case provided and you're good to go. So we've had a good look at the build and overall design elements. Now it's time to power it on so we can check out the Honor Magic 2 in all of its glory. There it is everyone. Behold, the one and only Honor Magic 2. Stop and pause for a second and witness the sheer quality of this display. Let me be very clear, I can confidently say this panel is exceptional. It is so refreshing to finally see no compromise. This is how smartphones must be going forward. Zero notch, essentially all screen, minimal bezels and perfect symmetry. It's just outstanding. The Honor Magic 2 adds another layer of innovation to the smartphone game, similar to what Oppo, Xiaomi and Vivo are trying to accomplish. They understand that we the users don't don't want anything that compromises the display and try to offer us that alternative. The alternative here, which is the slider, may not be the perfect option for everyone, but it's a great concept which has practicality and can ultimately give you one of the finest all-screen displays. I'm a big fan of the Magic 2 right now. Well done, Honor. So, the default theme used always fits the smartphone's look and is no different here. We're getting deep blacks at the top and bottom of the display, and colours are high in brightness and contrast. So the Honor Magic 2 has an AMOLED display with a unique aspect ratio of 19:5:9. It has an incredible resolution of 1080x2340 pixels, making it a full HD plus display. It's unspecified which version of Corning Gorilla Glass we have here, but we do have it on both the front and back glass panels, as I mentioned. It's not a HDR10 compliant or YouTube signature device like we see on the best flagship devices, but remember, this isn't aimed to be a flagship level device. And from what I see, more importantly, it's still doing an absolutely fantastic job regardless, and I suspect it would do brilliant likewise on video playback, which I'll test out in just a moment. Out of the box, the Honor Magic 2 is ready with Android 9.0 Pie and Honor's Magic UI 2.0, which is essentially EMUI 9.0, the latest and most up-to-date software from the get-go. Honor are pulling no punches here. They still have Huawei as their parent company to help them in the development side of things, meaning they'll get some flagship features thrown in. And Huawei, generally speaking, are working very close with Google to ensure their smartphones are fully optimized from launch date. Overall, in terms of specs, the Magic 2 also introduces the Kirin 980 chipset, the world's first 7nm processor, which supports faster Wi-Fi and data speeds. The Kirin 980 is also the world's first dual NPU design with the Cortex A76 architecture. Now that's a bit of a mouthful, but what it really means is that this, at its current form right now, as of late 2018, is one of the best, if not the best performing chipsets on the planet. It's a huge milestone in mobile processing power, and it sets a benchmark for the future of 5G enabled Huawei and Honor smartphones coming in 2019. A massive accomplishment indeed. The Honor Magic 2 is offering up internal memory of 128 gigs and a massive 8 gigs of RAM. It's dual SIM ready, however there is no option for an SD card, though Honor do have a 256GB variant of the Magic 2 available also. The GPU on the Magic 2 is the Mali G76, which has built-in Turbo GPU 2.0 technology. This is the same GPU used for the Mate 20X, which I reviewed very recently, and that is an absolute phenomenal smartphone from Huawei. With GPU 2.0 technology, it means software and hardware work hand in hand to accelerate speed and power for the ultimate mobile and gaming experience, meaning faster frames and higher performances. Now imagine gaming with an all-screen display. Well, here it is, but it doesn't end there. Well, you want performance on the go too, right? Well, from my experience, Honor and Huawei have remarkably good battery life, so that's the first thing. Secondly, the Magic 2 has a 3500 mAh battery, which is ideal for a smartphone of this size, and with Huawei's super fast charger, if you're ever out of juice, you'll go from 0 to 70% in around 30 minutes or so. Now that is awesome. Right, so far the Honor Magic 2 has a lot to like and has a lot going for it. Now only if it had something even more amazing, like, I don't know, an inbuilt fingerprint sensor for example. Hold that thought. Wait, so we have hidden cameras and a hidden fingerprint sensor. Now I know why it's called the Magic 2. Okay Honor, you've really done something special here. So, how good is the inbuilt fingerprint sensor implementation? Well, it took me less than a minute to set up. Its placement is ideal, as it's where my thumb naturally lands. It's surprisingly quick, the animation effect fits in and looks pretty cool. What more do you want? Now, the technology used for the inbuilt fingerprint sensor is clearly very impressive, but more impressive to me is the fact that they've used it on a Honor device. As Honor don't always get the best features, as it's a sub-brand from Huawei, but I'm very happy to see that it's here. This inbuilt sensor works as well as the Mate 20 Pro and the OnePlus 6T, and that says a lot. Now, coming on to the cameras, 6 in total for the Magic 2, 3 at the back and 3 at the front. So this is the triple lens camera setup for the Honor Magic 2, with AI vision built in, as you can see, written underneath the camera module. So it has the same module design that we find on the Huawei P20 Pro, but not the same quality unfortunately, as these cameras are not co-engineered with Leica, so they won't be the best in this field, but nevertheless Honor are still providing triple cameras, so it ought to perform somewhat near flagship Huawei territory. So the main camera is a 16 megapixel RGB lens with an f1.8 aperture. The secondary camera is also 16 megapixels and is a ultra wide angle camera lens with an aperture of f2.2. Now this lens is similar to that found on the Mate 20 Pro and LG smartphones. And the third lens is a 24 megapixel monochrome lens with a f1.8 f2.8 aperture. It's great to see the return of the monochrome sensor, as it's been removed on the latest Huawei flagships for the telephoto lens instead. Which lens would you prefer, monochrome or telephoto? So based on what I've seen so far from a visual standpoint, with its combined slider and the all glass back design, it makes for one of the most visually stunning phones I've seen and used all year. The overall design aesthetics demonstrates the level of precision and attention to detail Huawei and Honor put into all their smartphones nowadays. And I've said this before, they've got all the competition beat in this department. And save the coolest part for last. So the main camera is a 16 megapixel RGB lens with an aperture of f2.0 with AI scene recognition. The other two lenses are 2 megapixels, which will assist with 3D emoji, face recognition and portrait mode effects. Both lenses have an aperture of f2.4. Again, super clever design implementation and is a very unique feature, no doubt. Now, the Magic 2 is ticking all the right boxes, and there is clearly a lot to like about this smartphone in so many different ways. But what about the trade-offs, the drawbacks? Well, first of all, this phone would have gotten even more respect from me if it had the headphone jack. I really wished it had one. Secondly, you can use the slide mechanism to answer incoming calls, just like a 90s phone, which is just the coolest thing ever. I'd also really like to be able to end the calls by closing the slider, which isn't currently possible based on the firmware used right now. Thirdly, no IP rating, so no waterproofing and no wireless charging either. On a separate note, the main camera is also possibly slightly underwhelming. And finally, as of right now, there is no official UK supplier, but the one I'm using is brand new and factory unlocked thanks to my good friends over at Wonder Mobile. But ultimately guys, the Honor Magic 2 is not meant to be a full-fledged flagship device with the best flagship features. We have the Mate 20 Pro for that, which is priced around £900. The Magic 2 is at £579, which is actually reasonable in my opinion, but that means it puts itself up against the OnePlus 6T. Now, is the Honor Magic 2 better than the OnePlus 6T? Now that's a tough question, but it would definitely be a great contest right there. So, overall guys, I believe the Honor Magic 2 is an excellent smartphone and offers more than what I would possibly expect for a phone of this price range in 2018. Its uniqueness, style and overall design has it in a category of its own. The near 6.4-inch AMOLED screen with zero notch and all-screen near bezel-less display for me is the ultimate winner here. You're getting the most powerful chipset in the form of the Kirin 980, Android 9.0 and the latest skin out of the box, Huawei supercharged capability, superb battery life, and it's an overall insane gaming device with Turbo GPU 2.0 technology, as well as an excellent entertainment device due to its all-screen display. And finally, the innovation of the inbuilt fingerprint sensor added in to give it that final touch of exquisiteness. The Honor Magic 2 is the real deal. And just remember, you have a 90s style sliding phone packed with top-of-the-line smartphone technology. That is a magical combination right there. What is there not to be impressed about? Excellent work, Honor. Amazing job with this one. Okay guys, share your thoughts. What do you think of the Honor Magic 2? Hit me up in the comment section below. I'm genuinely looking forward to your responses on this one, and keep an eye out for all the comparison tests. Stick around, trust me, you really don't want to miss them. Thank you once again for coming through and showing your support, and thanks once again to Wonder Mobile for the one and only Honor Magic 2. As I said guys, I'll leave the link below. Tell them I sent you. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and as always guys, hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.